Welcome to the In the Tank podcast. Get ready for an hour of hot 40k goodness coming in your ears. You're in the tank now, baby.
We are live.
We'll do it live.
We will do it live every week.
Here we go again, and they might be seeing our ugly mugs this week as well.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry too. I look like a Sasquatch.
You do. You do. Yeah.
Like, we've got like a 90s professor vibes and like a genuine Sasquatch.
I've got like a sickly palette that I've had to use warm lighting to get rid of. So it's been a journey this morning. Just to let you in on the behind the scenes action. I've just come back from the gym and I've had a double gym workout because I bought a cable that was too fucking short for my camera, which has meant I've had to move my entire computer and put it on a box so that I can reach the fucking cable. And it's
There's
just
a lesson there, kids. Buy the right size cable for the job.
Yeah,
always.
Exactly. But there's also another lesson there. If you don't have, if it's not long enough, gents, then you can still make it work. You just got to get creative.
Get an extender.
Exactly. That's what I did. So,
I don't know, mate. I've never had that problem. So
No.
Orcs! Mega orcs beginning at the pod.
No.
So how you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm great. Apart from the sweatiness, which I apologise if you can see the gleam on my forehead, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the community loving us already. Like, oh my God, it's been so lovely. Like, genuinely lovely. Like, any feedback or any promotion that you can help us with is so, like, I can't stress how touched and important that is right now. But thank you for all of your feedback. That's brilliant.
And Russ loves being touched, so it's great.
I'm quite a tactile gent, so bring it on. Touch me up.
No, but genuinely, we are loving the support. It's been great so far. Onwards and upwards. Absolutely. New improvement this week. Hopefully video. We'll see at the end of it. If we can feed it in.
We get to the end and it's like, no, your camera sucks.
My camera might just die halfway through, so you might only have me for half of it, so you might be lucky.
Just have my gorgeous mug instead.
Yeah, exactly.
But you okay? Everything cool?
I'm good, yeah.
Have you had time to hobby this week?
I have built 3 flayed ones, which doesn't sound like much, but if you've ever built flayed ones, you know that's basically Everest.
I've heard that they are like the worst. Are they fine cast?
No, they used to be. They have had a modern kit, which is gorgeous. I love it to bits. I've already got 10 built and painted, but I want to up it to 25 because I'm just mad like that. So yeah, we're going to go for the full Annihilation Legion build, which I think will be great fun.
They are cool though, aren't they? Because they're a bit mental and they just like let me wear the humans.
Yeah, they're so cool.
Yeah, and they got those like long naily there's like
the bag lady hands or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna tear you up. See, now you get to see all of our fucking weird movements and stuff, like me being a flame bug. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
No, they're great. I'm looking forward to getting them done, but I've got to build and paint 15 more, so that's going to be misery. And they're actually not too bad to build. Like the upper bodies are okay. It's just the legs, man. Like whoever designed these was just, those like. So you've got like some leg joints that they just have like a nice little triangle or something. You just pop them in there. There's only one way to do it, right?
Well, it's the marine builds, right? Like the Marines
you've got like this floaty. You've got this floaty ass little joint that's like your hips all kind of sway and going all over the shop, and you kind of got to glue the feet at the same time as the hips, because if you don't, it all just comes apart and you end up with like flayed ones on the piss.
You've got to essentially glue Shakira hips whilst you're taking a piss into a shot glass.
Their hips do lie, actually.
Yeah, they do. They do. Lie.
So yeah, that's the worst thing about them. But we'll get through.
So you're going for 20? How many? 25.
25. So a 5-man and 2 10-mans. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh mate. Oh,
so 15 more to go. But yeah, we'll get there. What have you been working on? Is it Deathwing Knights?
No.
Oh,
actually,
what?
I know. There's been
Sorry.
No Dark Angels on my desk.
What?
Can you guess what I have been working on?
Well, I mean, before the episode, you were talking about sending. Oh, hang on, wait. So you were talking about mothers before the episode. Well, I'm sure we'll upload a clip of that at some point to the Instagram.
Oh no!
Is it another member of the family?
What? What do you mean? What do you even mean by that?
Where are you turning your eye?
Oh God! I just went that out. God, I'm dense. I'm so fucking dense. Yes, it is, because they are doing it. They are doing it for themselves, the sisters.
Okay. Hey, sister, soul sister.
I was so fucking confused by that. I was like so slow. Like this is the life of a podcaster where you're like trying to juggle things and you're like, I don't know what did he say?
We are both like dads, pushing into middle age, so we're allowed a little bit of leeway.
Don't fucking say that. Don't say that.
35 years old.
Don't say that. So yes, I am working through some tasty sisters. So I've got my own. So very quickly, because I haven't ever explained my sisters to you, have I?
No.
So I've got a sisters army that I'm calling the Order of Flame and Frost.
I thought you were going to say froth.
Froth. I mean, that's a different order.
Okay. Go for those ice and fire vibes. I like.
We're going to get cancelled early.
We will. Okay, yeah. So Flame and Frost.
Flame and Frost.
With a T.
With a T.
What they're about? What's their jam? What detachment are you running them in?
Well, this is it. So, very quickly, the lore of my army is that like a Sacred Rose and Bloody Rose squad got like stranded on this ice planet like hundreds of years ago, and they've kind of morphed their order into like a new order. So you've got like the Flame sisters and the Frost sisters, depending on like what discipline they choose. So some are going to be like orangey red, and some are going to be like harsh blue, like a light blue color. So
that sounds cool.
So the shooty stuff in Miami is going to be like light blue. Some of the flamey sort of combat stuff, the passionate sisters, are going to be red. So it's going to have this awesome red blue kind of.
They're the frothy ones.
They're the frothy ones.
Yeah.
And specifically, very frothy. Basically, fucking hell. Basically, the detachment that I'm running is the Repentia one. The what is it called? Basically the one that it's all like.
I know the one. Is it the one with all the arcoflagellants and all that?
Yeah, it's the key. Oh, I've forgotten the key.
The kinky lot.
Yeah,
yeah. They're into whips and chains.
The penitent.
That's
penitent
it.
lot.
Yeah, God.
So, like, I'm running 2 squads of Repentia in Rhinos. I'm running a squad of, you just said them, Arcoflagellants with a priest in the unit.
They are still really good.
They're fucking awesome, mate. Actually, I don't think the Repentia...
Coming out of a Rhino?
Yeah, coming out of a Rhino too.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Although I've done a really cool Rhino. I've bashed one up.
That was the important one.
I've got a Demius pattern Sashi. Oh fuck! Sashi.
For anyone that hasn't caught the episode, Russ can't say chassis. Do you want me to just say it for you?
So a Demius pattern
chassis.
Yes. So Sashi that I've fucked up. Like I've fucked it up. I've got like typhus corrosion on it. And it's going to be all gnarly from where they haven't like upkept it, and it's going to have all my archaeoflagellants in there, like it's like all that. Fucking. Thank you. See, I'm trying.
I'm into it.
And then half my tanks are going to be red, half of them are going to be blue. So yeah, running 2 squads of Repentia, even though I don't think they're really that great anymore. I think they need a bit of a cut in points, but I still love them because they're wicked. And just some tanks and some cool stuff. So I'm working on sisters. I think it's just because I've hit a critical mass point with my Dark Angels, where I just need a palette cleanse, but. I'll be back on Dark Angels probably soon, but it might be a couple of weeks on Sisters just for funsies. And
makes sense. Yeah. Apologies for this gigantic pop filter, by the way. And it's just because I'm like hiding behind it. It's just because if it's not on the microphone, then every single time I say P or T, your ears will explode and your headphones will fly off your head. So. Yeah, apologies for that. And it also just hides me. So,
you can like hide behind it. See, I can't really move my mic because it's right here, but like, you've got to see my big regalia face in all of its Sasquatch glory.
Exactly.
But there we go. It's all good.
You're mean.
So we have had some community feedback straight off the bat. Let me trying to get this back on track. Essentially, we need to define what the fuck in the tank means because we never actually defined it. So a listener, Bolus... Hello, Bolus. Love you, Bolus. He was like, I listened to your first podcast and I re-listened to it and it was a great podcast, but you didn't actually explain what in the tank actually meant. So
we kind of half did and then we sort of glossed it. So do you want me to explain or do you want to explain?
You can explain. I'll elaborate.
Yeah? Or we can just do it at the same time. No, so basically, I'm known for... I've got ADHD and sometimes I forget things middle of the turn. And for me, sometimes when there's a critical turn, like, the one that we were discussing in episode 1, against Russ when I had to try and figure out how to not get overwatched by his, what were they called again?
Desolation. Fuck
your
you,
Desolation Marines, because they were a 10-man back then. So I
I
kind of have
them.
to. I know you do. I don't. I had to really plan my turnout, and that's happened sometimes. And it's sort of become known as me going in the tank. So it's like I'm in like a big vat, bubbling like this, and I'm just sort of sat there in my little Necron hovering like this, and Russ was just so confused as to what he thought I was just having like a huge flashback or a stroke or God knows what.
Essentially, what I perceive the meaning to mean is like you need to just go into your brain a bit, and think about stuff, and like it's kind of it's kind of become. I've known of the term from like the esports revolution, right? From where strategic esporters just need to take like a few minutes just to like go into that part of their brain where they just need to like go over things. It's almost like the 1,000-yard stare, right? Where you're just like gone. There's like nothing like it's all vacant. So in your brain, you're like this Necron fucking overseer, like in a bubbly tank, like, yes, I would win. But to me, you've just had a stroke, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. It is like, we were talking about it, like that sort of Necron whimsy that you love, where it's like, you know, you've got that, like, even if my brain is 99% accurate, that 1% of error code over 60 million years is going to build up enough to cause problems, basically. And that's
11011001.
That's kind of where it is. You're just sort of twitching, like they said, the side of the table, trying to figure it out. But yeah, so I do tend to go in the tank, and I am known for it. And Russ picked up on it straight away, and that's why we named the podcast that, because it was how we met. It's a tale as old as time.
Am I the beast in this situation?
Yeah, definitely.
You're the beauty and I'm the beast.
Yeah. You can see me like going through the town singing about bread.
And you in a yellow corset.
Yeah, exactly. How do you know I'm not wearing one now?
Take our bromance to new shocking levels. Oh my God, I think my wife would have something to say about that, although she would be entirely surprised.
Yeah, she already calls me your boyfriend, so it's bad enough.
I mean, work wife, I think is
work
the best way to describe it.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. But no, so yeah, that's going in the tank for those that were interested. Sorry we did a poor job of explaining it week one.
We were just ecstatic, like we were like, yes, let's get involved, let's do this, let's have fun. It's so much fun, I love doing this. It's been
great fun, yeah.
So we do have an itinerary of topics today, and we're going to start off with a hard and fast one. Literally, in this case. God,
starting off frothy. Let's go. Bringing it back.
What is the hardest faction to play in 40k, Ed? What is it? Like, both subjectively and objectively. So what would you struggle to play? But what do you think is like the overarching, objectively hardest faction to play?
You see, I think that there are a few armies out there that are quite finessey. And I think that you look at them on like their results, like Eldar, for example. You look at their results and you think, oh, you know, they must be busted, real easy to play. But actually, they are very strong. But there are a lot of like tricks that you need to do in order to get that right. And you need to really know your rules, like
to
beyond
milk that
usual.
Strength.
Exactly.
Like, otherwise, you've just got a brittle bunch of space elves that don't do anything.
Yeah, so things like that. I think a lot of people say things like Gene Stealer cults are quite hard to play.
Interesting.
I think they're hard to play from a hobby perspective as well, to be honest with you, because they've just got so many damn models and they're also intricate. It's an army that I want to get sorted at some point because they just speak to me on another level, because I'm just like a little goblin with 3 arms. So
you would be the ultimate cult leader, quite frankly.
I would, yeah.
I look like the cult leader, so we can
combine, you do, yeah.
We'd just like be together, the ultimate cult leader.
Yeah.
I think of this pod.
Yeah, I think stuff like that is quite tricky to play. But then equally, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go for Gene Stealer cults. I think they're a tricky one, especially at the minute, because they're not as powerful as they have been. I think you need to really work them to. No.
Yeah.
Their latest book was, so we've had like codexes coming out in pairs sometimes, and it always seems like we've got a right duffer and then one that's just amazing. And unfortunately, GSC got the duffer. So
I heard about this, right? But like, it always comes in pairs, almost like there's 2 teams working on it. But that's
almost.
a conspiracy.
Or
but
2
like,
people. Who knows?
So Gene Stealer cults, that's really interesting. Actually, I would potentially agree. Like, just to comment on your choice, I would actually agree with that to some degree, because they do seem very finicky, and they don't seem to have one awesome killer unit. They just have a lot of utility units that you need to like know how to get the best out of, and
I think their movement is super key. Like,
do
you
they move
really
quite
need to
fast?
position
Do they move
them well.
fast? Or is it just a positioning thing?
No, there's all the deep striking and pulling the right people from squads, and there's all kinds of tricks you can do with pulling people now. I heard so one of the guys from Tryhard the other day, he had that mission where his opponent took a secret mission, right? And it's the one where he had to basically table him and get everything off of an objective or something like that, right? And he was basically about to lose all of his stuff. But what he did was he had a character leading a unit. And instead of basically pulling it down to the end of the unit and leaving, the whole unit dead, he pulled it the other way or something like that. So he broke his coherency deliberately in the unit so that the whole unit died, leaving the character alive on the point, and then his opponent couldn't get the 20 for the secret mission. I was like, that was a big brain play, that is. So he basically would have lost half his unit, and the guy would have won with the extra 20 points, but then he did it the other way around. It's very clever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, big brain plays.
If that happened to me in a game, I'd be like, that'd blow my mind.
Same.
I like big Terminators.
But things like that, those sort of tricks that you can do, like with coherency even, it's bonkers on the sort of top level of play. Pretty cool. What was your choice?
Similar. AdMech for me.
Oh, yeah. Good choice.
I went down two routes. One was just an unnecessarily complicated codex / just general datasheet interaction thing. And I think AdMech, you just need to know that army inside and out, and also just how to milk the core rules to your advantage. Yeah. And especially in 9th edition, oh my God, that was like a fucking... if you were ever playing against an AdMech player, it's like they were going through a thesis.
I remember.
And then I do this with the... And I'm just like, sure, you can be making up rules. You can be and with this unit, I get +4 AP.
And then these guys are critting, and they're getting double sixes on this, and you're
I'm sure. And no one knows the rules of AdMech, really. We don't know. No one knows.
You've got to bend over the table now, drop your trousers, and I'll come around the back, and then... You sure this is in the rules? Yes, yep, definitely. Check page 36.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's my robot, my Castilian robots rule. And I think that's it. But I'm going to come at this from another controversial angle as well.
Oh, go on.
Smaller armies, so Custodes to some degree, especially in the beginning, if you're getting used to Custodes, you've just got such a small army thing. I'm going to say this weirdly, because everyone has an army of these. Marines. Yeah. To play Marines at a really high level, we're talking tournament level, not basic kitchen level, but to get a decent win rate, like a Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming sort of style. There you go, just a fucking name. You have to be really fucking good at Marines.
You do.
And obviously they have a massive codex, as we previously discussed as well. So it's weird with that. I think there's in-baked, naturally detailed codexes that are really hard, but then also easy to play, difficult to master armies that I think require a little bit more insight of how to get the best out of them.
Yeah, because Marines are a weird one because they're expensive enough that you kind of need to make every unit matter, and you don't have things like reanimation for Necrons, etc., where you're coming back and doing all this sort of stuff. Beyond, I think it's Custodes that used to be able to bring people back, and obviously Terminator apothecaries can obviously, but I think that's more Grey Knights now, isn't it? Do you still have apothecaries in your command squads or not? Are they gone? Oh, they got. You lost them, didn't you?
Yeah, lost them because they were part of the Deathwing command
Savage.
squad.
Yeah,
they don't. I'm like, dry your eyes, Russ. I'm just fucking staring out, going, I want to resurrect my boy. What have you done to my boys?
I know, it is sad. I do remember now. Yeah,
but I think also the gold standard is what can kill Marines. Yeah, right. Everyone compares can that kill a Marine? Is that a damage 2 AP minus 2? Can it kill a Marine? And you go, oh yeah, it can kill a Marine. So all of us we all have that inbuilt. We want to kill Marines all the time. Yeah. So I think it is quite hard actually in order to get the best out of a Marine sort of army.
And Custodes are a bit harder to play now or to get much out of now because they lost their fights first, which is massive.
Thank fuck.
It was really strong because I always found that, and I was talking to my mate the other day because we had a game and he was playing Custodes, and he was basically because he played them previously, and The issue with them now is that, the Wardens still have that 4-up Feel No Pain, obviously, which is amazing. But what they used to do was you would pop out, shoot the Wardens, they'd go 4-up Feel No Pain, you go shit and do nothing, and then you'd run into them, and then they'd fight first and kill you. So it was kind of like you just couldn't really do anything to them. Whereas now, at least, they have to be a bit more picky about where they're popping that 4-up. It really matters now. But they don't have a huge unit count.
You also need to, as you say, you just need to be on that piloting part rather than check out and be like, oh, it's fine, I just strike first or whatever. Does mean that now Dark Angels do have the best Terminators in the games. Get fucked.
I love Dark Angels Terminators. Those Deathwing Knights are just,
Are they the best?
They are erection-inducingly cool.
I'm so
just remember, guys, if it lasts more than 4 hours, go to the doctor.
Oh no! It's lasted 6 months.
Oh no! Your poor wife.
I'm not going into details then. So interesting. But let us know what you think the hardest factions are to play, because I'm sure we've forgotten something. But fuck you, any World Eaters players, just fuck off. Don't even don't.
As I said last time, they just lick the stamp and send it.
I love that. I absolutely fucking love that. That made me cackle.
It is good.
There's no way that I can wet blend this next topic apart from
that's fine. Just go hard into it, Russ.
The wet blending itself of So you're there, right? And I think we've all had this thought, and it was weird because when I potentially suggested this subject, you were like, this is a really interesting one. Because you've thought about this, independent of me even having this conversation with you. So you were there and you had this really twisted genie that gave you one wish, Fairly Odd Parent style, and out popped a fairy that's like, I can paint for you any army. I don't know why I was thinking like this, but I can paint any army for you, Ed. What would you like painted to a 5-star tabletop?
3 of every unit, yeah?
Yeah, whatever. And
whole
not
collection.
for money, not for money purposes.
No.
Just in terms of the color scheme and everything, and this fairy can just magic you an army, all painted, all made. I know that kind of goes against the fundamental crux of the hobby, right? But time is a valuable asset, right? And there are some people that just rule out armies based on the fact that it's just too much of a time money sink.
Yeah.
What would your fairy army of choice be? Your Fairly Odd Parents, bing, bring it into existence.
I think I would choose Drukhari.
Whoa! Was so left field.
That was out there, wasn't it? Yeah, what? I know. But I'll tell you why. Because it's an army I don't own any of the models for. And I'm assuming this fairy is obviously magicking me the models. So I'm getting a lot out of the bargain, right?
Yeah.
I also like their play style. I've played them a couple of times on Liam Dempsey's stream.
He's a good lad.
He's good lad, yeah. He's good fun, and I've played them into both him and Joe on there, and they are good fun to play. I really enjoy the mobility, just being able to move a load of scourges out, shoot, move again, or do the whole popping out of transports thing. I'm yet to play their new detachment, but I've got a bit of a semi low up for the old Drukhari.
See, this is where me and you are so different, because I'm like that. I fucking hate Drukhari.
You better not choose Custodes, because they're only 10 models. So don't you dare.
But just the choice, Drukhari gives me hives. I might have mentioned last episode that they do that. I hate Drukhari and Eldar. They're just the anti-me in terms of playing and stuff. But
what would you go for?
Well, yeah, hold on. What would your colour scheme be, very quickly?
I wouldn't go for the classic. No. I think I'd go for a sort of black and pink. Ooh. Like a sort of neon pink. And
I love that. Yeah. I actually love that.
Like Noise Marine kind of colour scheme. That sort of. Yeah, I think that would look. Fuck. I would. Don't, because you're going to make me buy Drukhari now. Damn it, Russ. There's no real fairies. Who killed all the fairies?
Fuck the fairies. Let's bring it on. So, my choice. Yes. Weird choice. It's going to be a 30k choice.
Oh, okay. That's left field.
Isn't it? It's White Scars.
White Scars, yeah, they're very cool in Horus Heresy.
White Scars, magnetize all the bases, give you the jet bikes, because white is a fucking pain in the ass.
The Horus Heresy jet bikes. They're so cool.
Oh, dude, they're so but like,
they are cool.
But like, the reason why I think White Scars give me a bit of hives to like think about, right, is that I'm used to like painting Deathwing.
Yeah.
And Deathwing are unforgiving anyway, in as much as like you've got to layer up all those creamy layers, right, and then your finger slips for like, you know, a bit of gunmetal or a bit of green, and then you're like, fuck! It's just like this infinite curse, like to the world. Imagine that with the whitest of white and fucking red accentuating it. Like
it's the worst.
Stainiest colour.
You slipped with your shaky old man hands.
Yeah, and you're like free-handing a fucking lightning bolt. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. You're like you got the lightning bolt, and you like slip, and like that's it, red down the side of a bike, and you're like, oh.
Are you a shaky painter?
Do you know what? Because of what I do for a living, not really, actually.
Yeah, you got some pretty deft fingers, I've heard.
I actually really do. But it's more I take ages to paint. Like I just take forever.
Yeah,
because
I take ages and shake. I've got that like Chihuahua shake sometimes when I'm painting, so I have to, you know, how
the
shitting
like, dog shake. The shitting dog.
It is tricky, but that's why I try and keep my color schemes relatively simple, just because it's harder. And that's why I've kind of avoided stuff like Marines, because they've got all those fucking leather pouches. Fuck off. You don't need leather in the 41st millennium. Just like make holograms and shit. Fuck's sakes.
Holograms that contain things to like move things.
Do you know what? This has actually suddenly just shot a thought into my head. Have you ever seen those genius Orc commandos that the guy just painted by basically sticking all arms on barrels? Have you seen and heads? That'd be so easy to do. That's what you should do. Whole army of that.
That'd be great. That's great. Actually, that is really cool.
It is good.
But yeah, no. So yeah, it would be a 30k White Scars army. Although I'd make it like a renegade army and have them black accentuated. But
yeah,
do you play Horus Heresy?
Do you know what? It's something I've really wanted to try for ages. I've got a mate of mine that's really into it and he wants me to play it, but I just haven't had time. And it's really hard when I don't even have time to paint like a second 40k army to dive into other game systems like Horus Heresy or like AOS, because obviously new AOS has just come out. And there's loads of people clamoring about that. And it's
although apparently Skaventide didn't sell that well. Apparently,
did it not?
No, it's not doing very good. It's not doing very good.
That's interesting.
Although I love those Skaven boys. They
look really cool.
Skaven are the shit. Yes.
Skaven,
they're the fucking best.
I think I would probably collect Skaven if
they're so cool.
Either that or Gloomspite Gits, because they're great fun. I like their comedy kind of like the way they're swinging all those balls around.
Again, it's the whimsy. It's Ed Whimsy yet again.
I love that.
I collect Sigma. I have a Sigma army.
I used to have Flesh Eater cores. What do you collect?
What do you think I collect?
Oh, hang on, let me think.
What do you think I collect?
What's the lamest army?
Knowing what you know about my taste.
It's going to be something like Cities of Sigmar or something like that.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because you love like old war stuff, and that's kind of like 17th century stuff. Go on. What?
I love knights, right?
I
collect Soulblight Gravelords because the Blood Knights are the most badass thing.
Very cool models.
So I love the awesome werewolfy vampires. They're fantastic. Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. So
they are cool.
All of the beastly vampires.
They're the ones from the Flesh Eater courts as well. They have all those ghouls, the big old the flying what are they called? Varghouls or something like that? I can't remember, but they're cool. Vargeists and stuff. They're wicked. I'm into it.
For the Soulblights, it's the Virkos bloodline, which are all like which are all the thing. But we need to stop talking about Sigma because it's just the fucking game that we're not promoting.
Our 10 listeners have halved to 5.
Fuck that. Like it's like no, we're not doing it. But also Bretonians for Old World. Like fucking yeah. See, there's so many game systems.
There are. Have you? Kill Team is another one. Have you played that? Or Warcry?
Kill Team. No,
Warcry is amazing if you've not tried it. I love it. I think it's one of the best game systems. I think Peachy did a video on this recently, and he's bang on with his video. Basically, go watch that. It is such a cool game.
Look, man, if I'm going to play a skirmish game, it's going to be Frostgrave, mate.
Yeah, Frostgrave's cool. I've not actually played it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, me too. But GW always fuck up their skirmish games apart from Mordheim.
Yeah, Warcry was good, mate. Honestly, they didn't mess that one up. Like, I promise you, play it. It's just cool. It's cool.
All right, I just wanted to be cool with the kids.
I'm gonna make you play a game of it someday.
Okay,
and you'll be like, damn, this is
okay.
whack.
No, I just want to be in with the cool kids because like Mordheim is always like one of the cool edgy kids. They're like, oh, well, you never played anything great until you played Mordheim.
Mm-hmm. It's like the upper echelon. They all sat there with their like cream mustaches.
I just realised I was on camera and I did like the like that motion. And I was like, oh no, I can't like get away with anything now. We've got to be careful. We've got to be fucking careful that we just don't get delisted.
Yeah.
Oh god. So you've got an event coming up.
Yeah.
You're sat there and you're like, oh shit, I've got the London GT, and then you look at your stack of models and you're like, oh my god, how am I going to get that from point A to B without
always a tricky question.
Every fucking thing. And honestly, like this, I find this subject incredibly divisive because the one thing, right, that I don't understand, which I have to say to the hobby world, sort your shit out. I've got to put my daddy cap on and be like, you need to have a conversation with yourself, right? Why is it in this fucking hobby, right, that you can spend hundreds, if not thousands of pounds on models and literally sit there and dedicate hours of your time to building these fucking models and then transport them in a fucking shoebox? What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you?
I know people that do it.
Invest in fucking transportation. Like, seriously, like... Sort your life out.
So in our in our tryhard Discord the other day, this conversation was coming up with transporting minis, and someone put a picture of those really useful boxes. So I use those, and I magnetize them on the bottom so I can just put all my models in and they don't go everywhere. This guy had literally just upturned a whole box. I think it was Chaos Knights, and then there was another guy that was doing it with Gene Stealer Colts, and I was just like, guys. He's like, oh, don't worry, they're all varnished, and I was like, yeah, but if I come up and I'm like onto the table, that's not a good start,
dude.
It hurts me.
Dude, it hurts me just hearing about it.
Luckily, Necron models are too delicate to do that with for the most part.
No, I mean, I've seen a Grey Knight player do that, and like all the bits, just like the halberds and stuff, like snap off. And
I hate
stuff.
That's the only thing I don't like about Drakari.
Yeah, snap.
Yeah, they've got too many stabby little spears and pricks and stuff.
They are, but they want to stab you when they do it because they're like pain through pleasure.
Yeah,
nice. That face is great. So please, for the love of fuck, like, transport your minis, man. Like, come on. Now, there's lots of ways you can do this. I used to be a foam guy.
I did, but I've since moved on to pastures greener.
Right, okay. So
there's too much tomfoolery, fiddling about, trying to get all them out of it.
Look, the weird thing about foam, right, is like, it seems to be on paper the cheaper option because you look at it and you're like, oh, that's not so bad. Like, a foam tray is X and a bag for it or backpack for it is Y, and you go, okay. But the thing that you've got to bear in mind is when you get more armies that have different foamy style inserts, all of that like racks up in money, right?
Yeah.
And the one issue that I found with foam, which again comes to my OCD-ness about like miniatures staying in one piece, is that it would still break minis.
Yeah, because things get stuck in the foam.
Yeah. Either they get stuck in the foam or stuff moves, like stacks of foam move, and it like breaks stuff, and you're like, fuck! And it kind of defies the whole point of what you're doing, right? And then, of course, the magnet revolution happens to us all when you're like, oh, magnets. And when you first look at it, you're like, oh, I'm not fucking around with magnets. Like, this is getting a bit hardcore. But actually, it's the fucking way forward. Like,
it is the way forward.
Oh, my God.
100%.
I've got one of those wicked A backpack. What are they called? The A case backpacks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And honestly, just in an event, like... I'm not sponsored. I wish I was. Please sponsor me.
Yeah.
Because the A cases, because they're fucking fantastic. But nothing gives me more pleasure, genuinely, right, than setting up next to my opponent and then them taking shit out of the foam and spending ages doing it. I just slide my tray right out, and I'm like, there we go. That's it. That's my whole army.
Beautiful.
And it's, oh my God, at an event, you just save so much fucking time doing that.
Yeah.
And it transports stuff. Obviously, the expense of magnets,
Yeah.
you know, is not crazy cheap. It's not like it takes a fair wad of cash, but you're spending all this money anyway. You're spending more importantly, you're spending all your time like painting your fucking models.
Yeah.
Treat them kind, for fuck's sake. Like
it's just a tragedy, isn't it? It breaks my heart every time I see it, and so many people do it as well. And as you said, the foam is not much better than just the shoebox, but it's better, but it still breaks. And
you can do it really cheap as well. Like really, like if you just have a modicum of like artistic flair, because I you know, I'm a posh twat. I'm using my A case or whatever, right? But as you say, like the boxes,
I use really useful boxes, yeah,
exactly, and that works great, and that's fine, and that's not that much. Like,
and the nice thing about those is they double up as a storage mechanism for out of tournament. So when because I've got so many damn Necrons now, I've got like 3 50-litre really useful boxes just full of Necrons basically, and and it keeps the dust off them, which is great. So.
Or you can just be a posh twat like me and have like a open cabinet. Like
Exactly. Yeah, but, I'm not quite that cool yet. I tell you what,
Ed. You need to sort that out.
One issue that I have with magnets is the magnet goblin. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but magnets are like socks in washing machines. They just fucking disappear. For some reason, I buy like 50 magnets and I like put them in my magnet pile because I've just got like a big cluster that looks like this.
Yeah.
And then when I come to use them for bases, I'm like, there's only like 20 here. I swear, where the fuck are they all?
And you always need to pack spares in your case as well, in case like one flies off at an event and you need to quickly glue one.
That happens,
What do you use to attach it to the underside?
Super glue.
To the underside. Super glue. Interesting, because I don't use super glue. Way up, I just knocked my mic. I don't use super glue because it leaves that shitty white residue on the bottom.
Yeah.
I green stuff them.
Oh, do you? You see, green stuff, I find they do come off eventually. And then you have to super glue them back into the green stuff.
I'm not stingy with my green stuff.
Oh, do you just proper glob them in it?
I glob it on.
Do you get like a lit round, like both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just smoosh it and then like cats into the bottom, right? And then it just like has it.
That's a great sound effect. Yeah, that's fair. I just super glue mine in.
No, I can't be doing the super glue thing. Super glue works, tricky, but it's just the white shit on the super glue. If it didn't leave the residue, I'd be totally.
But who's looking underneath their bases?
Yeah, but then it leaks around, and if you're rimming the bases, then it can sometimes leave that.
My biggest issue with super glue is not that, because I've got quite good at like getting them in now, but it's taken me a lot of practice, and I still get it wrong. Where you have to get the polarity right, otherwise your magnets are all jumping all over each other mid game, and it's just a nightmare. So the polarity is really important, right? But it's just a damn super glue. Like when I put it on, I somehow always manage to like do that thing where you got your big load of magnets and you peel one off and you push it in and then it just flies back onto the magnets in your hand, and now your hand's glued to the magnets you're holding, and you're like, well, hang on, let's pull that back out, and then my other hand's inside the base and I've got super glue everywhere. I'm stuck on everything.
Don't sort that out. Green stuff.
Yeah, well, it would work, but then you do the fatal mistake, right? So you get a tissue and you think, I'll just wipe this off. But no.
No, it sticks to your fingers.
Fuck, now you've just got tissue hand.
Super glue. See, this is why I always use poly cement for obviously plastic miniatures.
Yeah.
That shit is is the best, and why a lot of GW stuff is plastic is so useful these days. But like, super glue is the devil. Like, it is the fucking devil.
I use this as my plastic glue, right? And it's worrying because this stuff, I'm sure everyone uses this, right? Underneath, it just says, warning, hang on.
Cause death.
Cancer. No, it just says cancer. It doesn't say like any like particular thing. It just says cancer.
Oh no.
Yeah.
See, I used to be that, but I use this now.
I know that stuff, yeah. Is it that good? Like some people rave about it.
Oh my god, it's
what's it called just for those listening? So my blue one. Go on, I'll go first. My blue one was Contactor Professional. It's by Revel, right? Just for those listening.
I used to use that, but I used to get pissed off when the nozzle used to get clammed. And I used to
actually, I've got two ways around that. First,
lighter,
yeah, but that probably will give you cancer. And the second one is to just get a needle and poke it down the hole.
It depends how thin your needle is, right?
Well, get a needle thin enough, Russ. Come on. I've got one. I've certainly got something thin enough to get down that pipe. So,
well, see, I'm just a bit too thick, lad.
So, what's your stuff called? Because I have seen this, and I think I've used it once or twice.
Also, how much of a badass do you feel when you light the end of that fucking?
I know, it's like
you feel like Clint Eastwood when you're like, wow, wow, wow. It just like burns it up, and then it comes out all molten hot, and it's like, yeah. So this is Tamiya extra thin cement.
Lovely.
And the reason why I love this is because it also has a little brush applicator.
Does it now?
So like, and this is why I spill it fucking everywhere. But look, it's got like a little.
Does it do the same thing as normal plastic glue? As in, does it melt the minis together?
Yeah, it's fucking plastic glue.
But it's just. I'll give it a go.
I think it's.
Does it say cancer anywhere on it? No, probably an upgrade.
No cancer, flammable as fuck.
I don't know whether it's saying.
I think this is really good. I think, like I said, it's for the Japanese model market.
I need to look into it. I think I'm going to get one, and then I'll probably, maybe this one's just made of cancer. I don't know.
Just like physical cancer.
Yeah, I have no idea. But anyway, I should probably upgrade. I'll try some.
Okay, it's wicked. No,
you've sold me on it.
Honestly, to sort out. Like I said, I used to be a contactor lad. But I just like the application. I don't waste any. It's lasted me forever. Like I've had this for a while, and it's still lasting me forever.
Yeah, see, I have a very particular process with my plastic glue. Is that I have a special brush, basically just a large dry brush, and when I apply it, if too much goes on, I just quickly dry brush the area. Pro tip, and it gets rid of all of the plastic glue, and you don't end up with all that sort of bogging and globbing that you normally get.
But then I suppose you do knacker that brush eventually, though.
No,
right?
it's fine. You just brush it off. If you use super glue, you'll knacker the brush. But if you use plastic glue, it sort of eventually just brushes off. And worst comes to worst, you can just clip the very tip of the bristles, and then it's back to normal.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
or just use the Tamiya one, and you've got a brush inbuilt on the fucking applicator.
Yeah, exactly. Or you just get so close to your mic that you peak it.
Look, hey,
I didn't need my hearing.
Now, behave yourself. Behave yourself.
We are audio professionals here. Russ is a music teacher and plays guitar, and I just love microphones.
Do you?
I did sound stuff at uni. I think that's what got me into it.
Oh, I never knew that. We're gonna have to talk about that at some point. But that's cool. Speaking of life in general, and this is so shit. Like sometimes I can wet.
Your transitions are not that fluid today.
Like episode 2, it's because they have no relation to each other whatsoever. Like they have.
So you need to think about that planning for next time, all right? Just write creamy wet blend in between each one.
Look. If you want to blend the topics, you do it, buddy. Like you go.
Okay.
All right. Fuck it. You do it. You know you do it.
Okay. You edit the podcast then.
Right. Okay. let me just sit here. Go on then. You do it.
Okay. Cool. So I actually need to look at you. Tell me because I don't even know what the topic is. You're master of topics.
I am master of topics. See, can't handle the responsibility.
No, I can't. I don't want to look at my phone on camera.
That's fine. So. This happened to the Game of Thrones situation, right? Where all Game of Thrones for a long, long time was like a niche series that like had a fanatic fan base that like ate that shit up, and and I'll be honest, I wasn't part of that initial like wave of Martin fans that loved that series, right? But then as soon as the old HBO show came out, it became this like absolute cultural phenomenon, and you had like what I would affectionately describe as like normies walking down the street with like a fucking Targaryen t-shirt or whatever.
People naming their kid Daenerys and all this sort of stuff.
This is my child Gulliman. Which brings us on to this, right? It's like, what are we going to do as a community if and when this ever happens to like 40k, right? We have a Amazon show on, in all seriousness,
yeah, we do.
Objectively, I would say that the 40k setting, and the reason why this hobby is pursued for so long, is it's got this weird combination of niches that makes it such an awesome thing to love. But I think the lore and the setting is genuinely one of the best lore. I will say it on record, is probably been the coolest setting in the entirety of like fiction.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah, I'm into
what
it.
What happens when like normies wake up to that?
Yeah.
And it becomes so big, and even potentially outgrowing the miniatures game, where like the miniatures get right.
Yeah.
But it's something to think about,
because we already have like
miniatures
video
game
games, right? You know.
Yeah, but it's not it's
not the same.
I don't think it's the same by any stretch of the imagination, right? And the miniatures game is such a niche thing in society that I imagine that if 40k was to become this absolute entertainment monolith, where people realise like, not only is it this incredible setting, but you literally have 50 years of, well, 40-ish years of like dedicated lore history associated with it, where when I explain to people like the Black Library comes out with probably like 40 books a year, they're like, what? They're like, what do you mean? And it's like, just the Horus Heresy series is what, like 74,
it's
75
ridiculous,
books long. And it's like, to explain that to someone where their favourite series is like 5 books long or 8 books long, and like the Wheel of Time gets like shit for it being like, I don't know how many, 14 books or whatever, right?
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
I can't
guys.
remember.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so vast, and you've got all of this lore to dip into and use. Like, what the fuck? Like, how do we feel about, on an emotional level, this isn't like how do we feel about normies?
Sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with the normies, right? With the general public.
Yeah, like seriously, like how? Because I've never really talked to you about this before, and like, you know, we're quite talking heady about this. Like, how do you feel about that?
I'll be uppity as fuck. I'll be walking around like, have you ever heard of the Horus Heresy? It really depends on which part of the lore they sort of tackle first, I think. I think it'd be really interesting. I imagine they probably do the Horus Heresy or something, because it's just so like foundational.
I think, if I'm honest, I think they will fuck it if they do that first.
You reckon?
Yeah.
It's really hard to get right.
To pitch to a new normie, and there was the Emperor of Mankind for 10,000 years, and he made 20 sons, and the legions, and blah, 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 blah. Fucking no.
You reckon you just got to dive into it?
No. Gaunt's Ghost it, or Eisenhorn it.
Okay.
If you Gaunt's Ghost it...
Makes sense.
A person will go, oh yeah, I know, that's a military platoon. It's like, it's Band of Brothers in space.
Yeah.
Easy to sell that. And then over time, you slowly like unfold. And also, no one understands like the power level of like
this
what
is true.
stuff is, right?
So you're like dipping the toe in the metaphorical pool here, basically. And you're kind of doing an in-universe thing, but not explaining everything.
Exactly. I genuinely think you just go balls deep with Gaunt's Ghost, right? as you should, because they're brilliant.
Sounds like a great night.
And have one of the episodes be a cliffhanger when, I think it's in the first book, they fight like one traitor marine.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's like an absolute unit.
By it,
yeah.
And get fucked by it, right? And like have that be a cliffhanger at the end of the episode, and all the hobby bros are like, and sisters are like, whoa, it's about to go down, fuck! And like the normies are like, what the fuck is, what is that, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, the power level's then established, and you go, right, Horus Heresy, you had legions of these fuckers like smashing into each other. Then the scale, you kind of like, right, you don't freak them out. It's like you don't like scare the lamb before you kill it, right? It's like this. So it's like you don't freak out the normie before they like you need something like understandable to like the and I'm not like talking down on normies, right? But like, it's such a mind-bending setting to like understand, and there's a lot going on. Impenetrable. It's almost like impenetrable for like a new person.
Like even I feel like I don't know half of it.
Right, like,
and I've done a lot of reading, and like I've been, you know, we've all just dived into that wiki at points and fought off 4,000 adverts to get to the bottom of a page, because each of them are like 10 pages. Like, you know, it's crazy how much depth there is to every topic. And even if you just took like one race, so like, let's just look at Necrons. I know that they obviously retconned a lot of their original lore and changed it a little bit here and there over the years. But like, if you look at their lore, it's crazy long. They've got so many characters and books that, you know, just cover one guy.
Goes back to even before like the existence of humanity, right? Like it goes back to like the old ones and stuff. And then you're talking about freaky lore in like 40k, where it goes to like, you know, the fat frog gods, and it's like, oh, the fat frog gods. It's just like, what? Like, what's these big fat frog gods? Like, right?
Do you know what? I would love to see, and this is just like a personal thing, that I would love to see the war between the Necrons and the Catan before the Catan was shattered into their shards, because obviously if you've ever seen any of the Catan shards, I'm just talking, these are like, you know, 1% or even less of the power, how hard they are to deal with. Imagine what these gods would have been like. It would have been crazy.
The Void Dragon, wasn't the Void Dragon like for on Mars like a big old chunk? Yeah,
there's like a theory that because there's something to do with the dragon, with the Admech on Mars, and they worship this thing, and there's a theory that he sort of emerged from it or something. I don't know. I can't remember whether it's official.
Did the Emperor like wrestle it, right? And then that's when the Admech realized that like he was like the Omnissiah in a different form, I guess.
Yeah, because they sort of, there's some stuff where the Admech are like the Emperor's the Omnissiah, and then there's some stuff where they're like the Omnissiah is sort of a separate entity to the Emperor, and there's like different beliefs within the Admech there, which is interesting. So, but yeah, we're going off topic, but yeah, like normies, I don't mind people. Like, I think, you know, get as many people into this hobby as they can, because at the end of the day, the more money that Games Workshop can make, right? Okay. The better shit they can supposedly make.
Well, this is I think where you're at with my perspective, because I haven't really given my 2 cents on it. Where like, I don't believe. I know people can spin this in a way that like makes it more palatable for people, but I think that gatekeeping is fundamentally fucked. Like, I've never understood gatekeeping at its core, really. Like, I think it's just, it becomes very boys clubby and very weird, and I'm like, get fucked. Like, that's never. Agreed. I'm sorry. Like, people have different opinions on this. I don't agree fundamentally. I think it's a really stunted way of viewing the bigger picture of your hobby. And the bit that would freak me out about all of this revolution happening is, of course, the IP outgrowing the tabletop game, where like games, I don't think it would ever necessarily happen, but Games Workshop then looking at the tabletop game and going, like, it's small potatoes.
This is secondary to the thing.
Yeah, and that would kind of hurt my soul a bit, because I want the tabletop game to be a massive part of GW's aspect. I don't think it would, but I have a feeling that if the popularity of the IP gets to a place where, like, Citadel is almost like another part of, like, Warhammer's IP in the same way that, like, the Black Library is.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, the predominant element of it. And it's like, I just hope that they support it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like...
I get exactly where you're coming from. I think that's because we all want this game to prosper, right? We love it. You know, we love the lore, we love the universe, and we love being able to paint those minis and get them on the table and represent the armies that we love from the lore and all that sort of stuff. And I think that I don't see it going away. Like, they've got such a monopoly on the market for the most part.
No,
like,
absolutely.
They make such good miniatures. You know, I know that they fuck their rules up occasionally. I think they're getting better on that front, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think they just need to pull their fucking finger out and just go for full digital and stop making codexes have rules in them. But that's just me as a tournament player.
I agree.
But, you know, and like, put Legends in their app as well. You know, because people want to play with Legends sometimes. It's nice for fun games. So, but anyway, that's me griping. But I do think, as you said, no gatekeeping. This is an all-inclusive hobby, right? Always has been, I think.
Absolutely.
Just the more the merrier. Like, my fear is that they'll either Witcher it or, you know, Warcraft movie it, and it'll be, you know, just a bit of a swing and a miss. I would say that I would feel the same if Fallout wasn't amazing. Fallout, I haven't finished it still because I've just been too busy. But I've heard really good things, and I've enjoyed the first couple of episodes. Fallout was amazing. Yeah. Fallout was amazing.
you know, you've got Cavill there.
Yeah.
You've got Cavill there.
It can be done.
Being Lore Master, right? Like, let's not shit it. Like,
no, I hope they do it.
The one thing I would say is, like, where I think there might be some, like, cultural, like, fighting going on between, like, an us and them attitude with, like, just the watch, is if they fundamentally change some lore things that probably the community has been debating about forever, and this is a subject I do want to talk about in depth at some point, because and it seems like such a stupid I think you're going to know what I'm going to say. It seems like such a stupid topic to debate so much, but it seems to be at the core of, like, this cultural divide in the hobby, which is, and I hate to use the terminology because I hate to use the word, but female Space Marines, right?
Yeah.
And just using the term female in that sentence kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit, but whatever. But, like, female Space Marines, and that is, like, an analogy for, like, drifting from lore, right? And I've got some really powerful opinions on this. I'm not going to go into that now because I think this should be a topic for the future, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's where shit's going to get really divisive.
Yeah.
Where
I think it's important to say at this point that, like, you know, neither of us have a problem and fully support female inclusion in this game. I think that is, you know, a good thing.
Absolutely.
But they shouldn't trash pre-existing law to do it. They need to go about it the right way. It's basically just respect the law. Respect the law.
See, this is. I don't.
That's all I will say.
No. Oh, see, now this is where we could like have a debate here. But I'm not. I think we should save this.
We'll run out of time.
Yeah.
Let's make a full episode on it.
I'm going to just say one thing that'll be the crux of my entire thing, because I think me and you are actually in different courts here.
Oh no.
For me, the law is never static, and I don't think
law. Yeah.
I don't think the law, as we know it, as a conceptual, like, sacred cow, actually exists. I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
Yeah.
It's always the perspective of your faction. It's always what sells models.
That is very true.
It's not this sacred cow thing. People being like, the law, like, if you look at how much the law has changed between second ed to now, it is almost like a completely different fucking thing. Your custodes aren't topless.
No.
Right? Like, Horus is not just a general. The concept of a Primarch, like, was not even a thing, right? Let's be real.
Necrons had pariahs. Oh.
Exactly. Right, exactly.
Half human, half Necron, like, cyborgs. So,
you know, we'll go into the subject in depth another time. But for me, I am all about movement and development. And if it's just this awkward conversation about women as Space Marines, and I'm just like, get the fuck over it. I'm so sorry.
No, I genuinely, I agree with you.
I'm sorry.
It was a bit of a reaction from the community. I tell you what it was, and this is why I say respect the law. I mean, do it respectfully. So when they did the changes, they just kind of acted like they'd never changed anything.
Sure.
They acted like they were, oh no, this has been like that the whole time, you idiots, you know? And I think it's more, actually, so I'll change my statement from respect the law to respect your audience.
No,
you know,
dude,
we're not idiots.
But dude, this is very subjective. Like, I get it. I totally, like, I'm throwing my heart, like, my hands are in the air. I'm like, no one come at me. Like, dude, if that's your whole shtick, and, like, you know, like, fair. But I think it just needs, as you say, it just needs to be handled with grace and elegance, and and not to pretend that what has not happened has not happened.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not going to go into the depth about the female Space Marine thing because I've got arguments for that. But if it's just
an interesting debate, I really do think so. Like,
if it's just because 2 female Space Marine models didn't sell as well in 1992 because they were made really badly, and you were a bunch of, like, nerdy boys that didn't want to play with girl Space Marines, like, that's not good enough reason for me. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not. And we'll get into that subject another day, but, like, this is I get, like, labelled as woke. And just, like,
you know, we should really build up an audience before we chop it in half. But
no, but, like, let's let's be balanced, right? Like, I get it. Like, I totally understand.
There
like,
are
totally
multiple opinions to this, and I think all of them are valid for different reasons, right?
I agree.
So,
I agree. Just be nice about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Just
play
respect
nice.
each other. Yeah.
Just play nice. Fucking hell.
Lovely.
Sorry, everyone. Fucking hell. I've got like the target on me now.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
The tangent. I love it.
So, it's just a way to like wrap up divisive opinions.
Yes.
Divisive opinions, because we always have to have a lore thing at the end of every episode. I think it's important because it touches base with a portion of the audience that loves lore, and I love lore, and you love lore. Same. Ironically, from our previous conversation, but there we go. What's your favourite Xenos faction, mate? And why is it Necrons? Even if it isn't Necrons.
This is going to blow you away. It's not Necrons.
Oh, fuck. Even though you are literally a Necron.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, you are the very definition of Necron whimsy.
I do love the Necrons, and they do speak to me with their whimsy. But I also really love the Gene Stealer cults. I think they are so cool as a faction.
The concept
and I think
is amazing.
They make so much sense.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I
They
just
make
love.
so much sense. You're talking like a cultist. They make much sense.
Yeah.
The four-armed emperor makes so much sense.
It does. Like it really makes sense. Like it's. I don't know if you ever played World of Warcraft, but like they sent the Burning Legion sent the Scourge, which are basically like the undead, to weaken the world pre their invasion. And this is exactly the same thing here. It's basically Vanguard units that come out, they weaken the world, get it ready for destruction and consumption effectively. And it from like a Tyranid mindset, that makes so much sense. That's what I would do. Right?
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they're all like, they're here to save us and take us to the stars. And then they're just like,
whoa. It does make sense because it makes the minimal amount of effort for the maximum amount of biomass, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole shtick.
Because if you turn up to a planet and everyone's always already on your side and you just turn up and just gobble them all.
Eat me!
Yeah, exactly. Then great. No resistance. You don't lose any biomass. You just gain, right?
It's
quick maths.
I like the keyword of their faction as well. Like the cult element there is so strong and powerful, and like
they have really cool models too.
Is it the patriarch, right? That starts like how one patriarch can like fuck up an entire world.
Yeah.
It kind of leads to the insidiousness of like Tyranids, right? That like, you know, a lot of people at first glance when they look at the lore and stuff, they always consider the big bad boogeyman of the setting to be Chaos.
Yeah.
Because it's the obvious one, and it kind of also subconsciously hits into like our sort of like, I don't know, like sort of puritanical roots as Westerners with religion and stuff, where you like, as soon as demons get flung around or like already you have that immediate like, oh yeah, like that's
they're the enemy. Yeah.
Exactly.
But what
and
we know that
I'm
it's...
not pro chaos, but it's actually fucking Tyranids that are actually like the, in my opinion, like, what?
It's the thing the Tyranids are running from.
True. Okay. Yeah. Fine.
We don't know what it is yet, but it's got to be that, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the Tyranids are big bads.
True. But like in terms of what we understand from a setting,
it's definitely the Nids,
and how big the Tyranid high fleets are, because we barely like touching fingers of high fleets, right? Like we haven't really had.
Gilliman's looking at his little star chart, like, going red, and he's just like,
"Oh no!" Is that a meme of that?
This is gonna look bad.
It's a meme of like Caesar going, "Oh no!" Like,
shit, guys.
And you know, and being eaten, right? Like having your like soul corrupted by chaos is one thing, but being a meal for like a fucking, that's horrifying. That's
it is
horrifying, right?
So what's your choice?
Oh, see, I don't know if you even knew that I had this affiliation with the Xenos race, but I'm a filthy commie. I'm a filthy woke commie.
No,
I love the Tau. Get fucked. I love the Tau.
God, well, you dropped as a child.
Yeah, it kind of explains a lot, right? In particular, I like one element of the Tau.
Go on.
Crew.
They are so cool, and their new range as well is just hot to trot.
Like people were like, we don't want crew. I was like the one person that was like, oh yes, like more crew-y thing, because it seemed like at one point that almost like Games Workshop were like moving away from the concept of the Tau being this like united species front, right? And going, no, it's just the fish people. Just like make it for the fish people, right? But to have those Native American bird boys back in
they're
such
so cool.
Powerful. I fucking love them. I love all of what they're about. I love their lore, which is really fucking weird, and the fact that they become what they eat, but differently to Tyranids.
Yeah.
And the potential for that unit-wise, and also the genealogy of, like, if you go too deep into that, it cuts off that part of your, like, growth, like a Crutox or a Cruthound, where if you get too deep into that genetic pathway, it's anathema to your, like, evolution and stuff. And I do like a space commie. I do like them with their vagina heads. I fucking love them. I think they're cool. I think they're proper cool. That's what my wife said. That's what my wife taunts. My wife taunts my lover Tau. What the pussy-headed ones? So I'm like, the pussy-headed ones.
They suit me.
But she did say something really funny about the Tau where, like, I didn't put this together, right? But, like, why... And I kind of asked this question of, like, why are Tau, like, so bad at shooting, despite the fact that they're shooting race? And she said it's part... Because she's into animal science and stuff. It's part of their, like, peripheral vision, because they're, like, cow fish people, right?
Yeah.
And cows have fucking herdy vision. Like, they have, like, fucked up bovine, like, sight, which is really got a very specific way of looking at the world.
Yeah, it's like...
And it's the same with Tau. They've got, like, weird ways of, like, looking at stuff where they're not a predatory, like, they're, like, you know...
They're like stormtroopers, but worse.
Yeah. So, like, they need help. They need AI assistance in order to, like, shoot, because they're, like, a bunch of cows.
If you stand in the middle, they can't see you, basically.
But, exactly. Like, but, like, I don't know. I really like the history. I played them when I was younger a lot. Like, in the Eye of Terror campaign back in, like, 2001 or 2002, I played Tau almost, like, exclusively throughout that entire campaign. And, like... Yeah, I like them. I like their model range. They're very 90s.
They are cool.
They're like very 90s, early noughties, and Far Sight's a G, and fight me. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Alan Var's a G as well. I did a little lore shot on him a while back, and that was really cool.
Who's that, sorry?
Alan Var. He's the ethereal that was assassinated by
the AI
Calexis
ethereal
assassin.
I see. I pronounce him.
And now he's an AI ethereal, because they all think he's still alive, but he is dead AF.
Yeah, he got fucking exterminatus, didn't he?
He got proper like, blown up by a Calexis in an alley.
Was it
in his bunker, sorry.
Was it an Eversaur?
No, I think it was the Calexis. Is that the anti-psychic one, Calexis?
Why? Okay, this is where I get to have a lot. But really,
it wasn't an Eversaur. It was definitely a Calexis, because he basically sort of fringed reality to break into their bunker, and then he just even though the tower's psychically dead, they're like psychically inert. He proper just blew them up.
No,
basically.
fair. I will bow to your superior.
They're more powerful than they look. Those things. They're proper monstrosities. They're really cool.
All of the assassin like houses are fucked.
They are. Fucked. Love it.
So okay, Umvar, yes. I love the Tau. The Tau are cool.
Yeah.
Like, I love them. Never been an Orc boy.
Do you still have a collection of them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Got like 2,000 points of Tau.
Amazing.
We got most of Crute, because I bought the new box set.
They've got a new Lonop character, the Crute, and he's really good from what I remember.
I'm gonna plan to have 3 of them.
They're really cool, yeah.
The sniper guy on the salamander guy, right? Like,
he's like riding something.
Yeah, he's riding a salamander-y kind of vibe. Like, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. I am too. Although rules-wise, they are shit. They are just shit. They're just worse orcs.
They are.
Just but I like him. But so there we go. Let us know your favourite Xenos factions.
Yeah, please do.
Just don't pick Eldar because they're terrible.
Just leave us a comment on either whatever you're watching this on, if you can leave a comment.
No, honestly, like any comments are hugely, and we're everywhere now. We're literally like a bad smell.
We're like a plague
on STD. We're literally everywhere.
Yeah,
like we're on YouTube.
We're spreading.
We are on Amazon. We are on
Spotify.
Apple, Spotify. You name it. We're there. We're even on Instagram as Camp Rescuer Minis.
Yeah, and we've got In the Tank 40k on Instagram as well.
40k, yeah. Please interact with us all on In the Tank 40k. That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome, mate. That's cool.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been a good week
some
3.
Divisive holes.
Yeah.
And let us know what topics you want us to cover. I do want to do a Q&A episode at some point, and of course we have a really special plan for episode 10, but I'm not going to let that cat out.
Yeah, we won't spoil that one yet.
But no, I promise I won't. But hit us up. We love you. Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
For all your
Genuinely.
support.
Genuinely.
And catch you on the next controversial topic of In the Tank.
See you next time, guys.
Later. Bye-bye. See ya.